What did you cook when you were younger?
We could do the
Nothing.
Dirty
Nothing.
Girl Mud
Nothing.
Run.
I
Really?
didn't, I
Of course,
did
Jason wants to
nothing.
do a dirty girl mud run.
No, but I would think we should do the
I'm
color
trying to
run.
think of when I
Yeah, the
was
color
married.
It's where we dress in all white and we
And it
throw
was pretty
in
close
like
to nothing
stars
there
of
also.
chalk
Let's
and
do
whatnot.
call it. Let's do
I
the
could
color
make a
run.
sandwich.
And
When
it's
is that?
April.
And that was about it.
How much is it?
I've
So-
not gotten that far yet.
But you enjoyed
That
your
starts somewhere
food.
like $100
Oh,
bucks.
yes, yeah, very much so.
Individuals.
Do you know
$40.
what's coming up?
It's not bad.
What's that?
St. Patrick's Day.
Sure of
If
it,
you-
Gary.
no, we should do that.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
We don't,
Or
we,
not, no, no.
5K?
This is
You know what? Most of the people here
Yeah.
don't
What do you
like
get?
corned beef,
$100
but
is pretty
I
expensive. What do you get?
I love
Family
corned
of
beef.
it,
three,
it
you can do it
depends
for
on the
28,
corned beef.
33.
Oh.
Now in San Francisco,
Around corned
There you
beef,
go.
right? Not a
I'll do
brisket.
it.
my mother knew where to go to
All it
buy
is,
corned
they-
beef in
they-
one
Ah.
special place. And
Frequently
it
asked
was
questions.
delicious. And she
But it is pretty cool 'cause they
introduced Jenny to it.
I've never done a color run and actually
So
really wanted
Jenny's
to.
times with corned beef was
Well,
very
it's really
good
good.
too.
I know people.
But
I always see people dress, yeah.
for, say, an Englishman's approach to corned beef, no.
No.
Do I get like
Like four.
Two.
Four.
And also,
Too
be
gristle.
careful what restaurant you went to in San Francisco
That's what I did.
for St. Patrick's
yeah,
Day.
see, the
Some
thing
that
is, what I
had the
do-
official
these things I always tell
corned beef
people.
there, it was
If
wonderful.
we do it, we're gonna have a meeting
And,
point,
of course, the
and
drink
or
was
just take to the
even
left
better.
if we get separated. So the front is separated. So-
You wouldn't go to an Italian restaurant for corned beef and
No.
So
cow.
we're gonna get
No,
if we
you-
do it, get
You
a white
want
t-shirt,
boiled
a dash,
red
a
potatoes
white,
and
a
Yes.
white
and
A white
some,
t-shirt.
Get you excited
I'm
here.
like,
some
okay.
cabbage
a
and
dash
Cabbage,
bit,
and some good
a
beer.
cool
Yeah.
color
Yeah.
run,
It,
color
uh,
dash 5K tattoo.
That, relates back to
One color
the cuisine
Yeah.
of maybe what you saw in England, by the, where you were in England, there.
So
London?
basically,
London.
our t-shirt is a white
And,
t-shirt, which is
the,
not as
people
cool
from,
as
We get blow bubbles.
Glasgow and so forth.
Oh yeah,
See,
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh, they were on the line.
That's a lot.
They're,
But
are
the,
they
the
Irish or
website
they're
I
not
like is
English.
Running in America or
They're
Running in the
Irish,
USA. is the
but
best
how much
website.
Irish are they? And
Yeah.
philosophically, there
Yeah.
was a divided
And
group there.
everything.
Running
And,
in the USA.
Running in the USA.
The
Yeah,
Highland,
trail
the
run,
Highland
whole
Scot was
ultra
one
marathon.
thing,
It's like,
and
so
that's
like,
where you
yeah,
were, with the
100K,
Highland
yeah, let's
Scot.
do it.
And he is a relative
Oh,
of
Jason.
the Irish.
The Irish.
Oh, yeah.
Irish!
Arr!
And you have to understand that. Whereas the other, the Lowland Scot, they signed on with the English, and they were of that culture. There was two different cultures there in one small area. But you have to go back into the history to really understand it. And then there was in the Highland Scots. Are you with the English or are you with
Why
the
have we never
Scots?
gone to-
And some of the Highland Scots, they there was this one with the Clan Donald. They were invited to something there. This is some years ago, and they were. It was a hoax thing, and then they let the English know that they had these Highland Scots there, and they came in and murdered them. And that they still celebrate that thing or
That moment.
that moment, and
Learn how to spend it.
there's a name for it which I can't remember. And so there's a lot of animosity there, and all of those things.
He hasn't opened
And
up
in order
30
to
years.
enjoy the area, you have to know all that history.
I want to make that. because-
Well, there still is because
I'm sure that- I mean,
obviously Scotland tried to succeed from
Big piece.
Just
UK.
recently, yeah.
and the
Well, thank
poor
God it
the
didn't
poor
happen.
guy that was the PM that was in
I
charge
am, thank you.
decided to after it didn't work, he said, I'll resign because
You think?
it didn't work. That was bad. In the meantime, what happened? What happened with Downing Street and whatever it was,
Mom, are you done with
they
your dinner? Or are you
decided
still
that
working on your dinner? Are you done with
But
your
they
dinner?
hadn't
Or
done
we
you-
need to
you're all
help. We
done?
need to help Scotland a little bit more.
Dogs don't even want this.
Yeah, there were the pesky relatives that you want to get rid of. All of that, and that's what the flower, and understanding all of that is the interesting part of that whole area there. And you were introduced to that, which was interesting.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. And lately there is a person who is running for the member of parliament, right, an MP in Scotland,
Yeah.
who is saying that I need to engage more people
Oh, thank you.
in my area to understand that I am trying to do my best to represent them.
Big brothers always
Oh,
watch it.
So, I think in the long run, I think things are good. I think that hopefully that England understands that their neighbor, Scotland, is truly their brother.
If that had passed, thank God it didn't.
It did.
It would have been a calamity.
Oh, I agree.
England would have become a second-rate country.
Yes.
And Scotland would have been another second-rate country.
Right.
But together, they are the dominant country of Europe.
Oh, no, I
Right.
didn't.
It's,
But they still don't
I
deal
still
with.
hate you.
Oh, I know. I mean, Ireland, right?
Oh,
Ireland.
Oh, yeah, well, the Scot and the Irish are, boy, you can't tell the difference. They're like that, one and the other. The bloodstream is very similar between them. And rabble rousers,
But England has been extremely strong
We can do
to
it. 5K.
not
Yes.
deal with the euro,
Yeah.
to not be part of the euro,
But we would need to
To
get
continue
Oh, it is.
with their-
It
their
is-
pound.
It is part of the euro, though, isn't
on the
it?
No.
weekends.
England isn't part of the euro?
No, England, no. They have the pound.
No, I
The
didn't
pound
know,
sterling.
I didn't know that.
No. Same with
It'd be a nice place
Scotland.
though to visit.
Same with Northern Ireland. Same with Wales. They do not. They do
Definitely
not
like
deal
beer
with
runs.
the
It's
euro.
amazing,
Child
these
pubs.
different
Yeah.
viewpoints have come together in one country. It's amazing
Yes.
that happened.
Right.
Take me food. Ah,
Same with Switzerland.
Well, Switzerland's an independent country. That some people like, some people don't like, I guess.
I think it was
The Swiss,
They have money.
they have hotels and restaurants and things to do there, skiing and so forth. It doesn't seem to me like a political group in Switzerland.
No. They try. They try not to deal with things that would.
They're not German.
No.
They're the,
German,
They were-
Italian, whatever. They don't deal with other things. They try
the
to.
Italians are nothing still, aren't
Ah.
they? What's an Italian, you know?
It's crazy.
Mamma mia.
Mom.
They're great cooks,
Getting that
but
ticket. Oh.
Nah, I'm over because
I can't,
Capture the moments. So it was mainly Dublin that you remember going to? What's another big city in Ireland? I don't know, Ireland. besides Dublin. Rick, do you know another big city in Ireland?
I should know that, and I just hit a blank on it.
The problem is, I mean, Belfast, but Belfast is in northern, I think, right?
It's Northern Ireland, yeah. Now that stayed British. They didn't
Yes.
separate.
Right.
But the English, that was a big. That was a time when England ruled the oceans, and they had big shipyards up there, and there were these Irish that built these ships for them because it was cheaper there than in England. And then I think there were some other factors involved. But
And is that when Scotland was separate from England?
It's
Is
like-
there was a
No,
lot
no,
of, there was a lot of going back and forth between,
England and
and
Scotland,
Scotland.
and Scotland. No, you watch that. That goes back to maybe the Civil War days when they've been together since it's a long marriage. But you have the Scots and the Irish are ethnically the same people. Henri.
yeah, right.
And they would never admit to either of them to that, but you look at them, and they look the same.
Yeah,
Well, I could pass for Irish, and I have.
yeah, this is
And,
your fair skin.
Bartenders, the best bartenders in the world, aside from your father. It,
They developed the two finger drink.
what else? Is there any other?
Yeah, no, just two
I
fingers.
thought it was always like that. With one.
Yeah, with one bowl.
See, my glass is empty.
I know. And Mom and you are double fisted. Yeah, two drinks.
The U.S. was at war with Canada, weren't they?
Well, we
that
just
was
got,
like, or that was
we just went into
1910.
war with the whole Cuba,
Or
the
Cuba?
Philippines,
Yeah.
with the Spanish.
Do you know how that war started? They, the Spanish, it was a Spanish colony, and they had a ship down there. It was a semi-military ship,
Oh yeah, it blew up, right?
and
Gunpowder.
they said the United States
Yep.
blew it up.
Yep.
And then we found out many years later that the Americans didn't blow it up. The Spanish, they put the artillery or
Their coal, right? Coal right next to the
next to the
Their
furnaces.
fires.
Yeah.
Made no sense.
Yeah, I know.
And it just lit up.
It blew the ship up. And
they blamed it on
they
us.
looked, yes. And so we said, okay, and we went into Cuba.
So I guess the moral of the story is don't be hasty and
Don't point
placing,
fingers.
Don't point fingers and don't be hasty in placing blame.
Yeah, the military boats were, the Navy ships were all the way over in the Philippines. That's why, that's where the war was.
Now that only came out recently. Did you hear that in school?
Yeah.
And the discovery of why the ship blew up. I've known of it for maybe 10 or 15 years, which is nothing
Yeah,
in terms
recent.
of history. Yeah.
How about the Spanish-American War that William Randolph Hearst?
Well, that's the New York Journal. Talking about like the Yellow Press.
Yes.
Yeah. That
They
was
they made up this war.
Yeah, they made it up.
They made it up.
Oh, we
so
heard
that-
about that on the Hearst Castle tour.
Who was there was a guy over there at the war, and he was the person he was an illustrator, right? And he did illustrations, and then Hearst did the fake stories.
Right. I don't remember.
I have to
But
know his
Hearst
name,
Hearst
so.
created this and
Because he wanted to sell more
He wanted
he
to
newspapers.
wanted to sell more newspapers.
Yeah.
It was like, really?
Yeah, it's,
Then
there's a movie that was made about that.
There was, yeah.
What's it called? I forget what the war something or other. But yeah, it's all about that they faked a
Catchy
war.
Wag the dog.
Wag the dog.
Wag the dog
Was
is
that
a
was
great
that
movie.
was that from that?
No,
was that-
it was a recreation using the same type of thing. It was with Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Have
That's
you
a
seen that
great movie.
That's a good.
I never heard of that.
He needed to be reelected. He wanted to be reelected, and he thought,
I'm gonna create a war.
I'm going to create a war to show my worth.
So it's kind of like what Hearst did to create a war to sell more newspapers,
Yeah.
right? It's pretty fascinating actually. It's like wow, and it just shows how we're all subject to the media.
100%. We believe.
Radio.
False things, just like in World War II, where they censored everything, and so people didn't know really what was going on.
Like, right.
Because all they knew about is what they read, and what they read was false.
Just like a lot of our history books.
Well, yeah, and
They switch
then
up
you
history.
question, is what I'm reading true,
Yeah.
or is it not? Because it's true from what the publications say, but we've seen in history how
You always hear one
how
side.
how
right?
fabrications have been put in there for a number, and so you wonder.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting sometime to take the event and read about it, like the World War II, and read about it in Poland, from the Polish, read about it